So I know you personally, but for people watching this, can you just like talk about your intersectional identity as, a Black man with parents who are, lawyers, but, they come from different ethnic backgrounds?
Okay, so yeah, so half of my family's from Canada and the other half is from Jamaica. Then I was born here in LA, so I've been definitely been part of like a lot of different cultural experiences, and like I felt like I'm part of everything, but also like never like also part of nothing at the same time.
Hmm.
Yeah, like you're so many things, but you're also like never just fully part of one thing. So it's very interesting existence.
Yeah, with your mixed identity, like, what are your experiences even early on in school, knowing that you're different, in that maybe that there's this divide between the Black side of, trying to connect with Black people, and then, with white people as well, because you're half white. So what was it like?
Honestly, I never really had like I feel like a lot of mixed people have like this really like big whatever like identity crisis. And I don't think I really had that because honestly because of racism. It was made very clear what part of society I was part of and what part I wasn't at a very young age. I don't really feel like I ever had like this mixed person identity crisis. Like people always talk about that and I don't know. I personally don't relate to it because I always knew what it was and
Yeah.
like jump. And also just like Jamaican culture is also just like so much stronger than like I don't even know what Canadian culture really is. Like I don't know. Like yeah, like obviously Canada is dope. Like I really messed with Canada and like even my Jamaican side of my family, like there's a lot of like members who lived in Canada, especially like Toronto at one point, but like Jamaican culture is just like way stronger, like way deeper. So you kind of just like yeah, like I was always just vibing with that.
Yeah. So I know your Jamaican roots have influenced a lot of the music that you're working on now. Can you kind of just tell me about what type of music you're doing?
Okay, yeah. So I like grew up, of course, like Jamaican music, but general like more like that's generally a lot of Afro Caribbean music. Like I listen to a lot of like bossa nova, Brazilian jazz coming up. Like my mom was always playing gospel music. Then there was like just like various like Caribbean Latin jazz as well, like a lot of like Tito Puente and like things in that genre, as well as of course like Jamaican music, going back to like early Harry Belafonte records all the way through like like reggae, roots, all that stuff, ska music. So I was always exposed to like I think like the full diaspora of like black music in the Western Hemisphere, and it definitely like influenced me, especially because I was not really like when I was growing up, I wasn't exposed directly to like hip hop because my parents, like religious or whatever. So I was like listening to like all these just different, whatever, older classic records of a variety of different genres. Yeah. So
Yeah.
definitely that's my sound.
So how did you kind of find yourself, and what was your journey like at USC so far?
Journey at USC, I think honestly, like, that's tough. And the journey at USC was just like being comfortable doing what I always knew I wanted to do and just getting the tools to do it. Because I came in and I was like, I'm a producer, like I
Mm.
want to like do all this stuff for other people. In the back of my mind, like I always knew I wanted to be an artist, but I just didn't feel ready. Like I didn't feel prepared. I didn't feel like I could do it. And honestly, at the time, I was kind of mid. Like I probably wasn't ready to be an artist, especially like when I first got here. But I say my artistic journey has been like whether it's been through like producing for other people, managing other people, interning for bigger management companies, interning for A&R jobs, working like through PR. It's just helped me fully understand what goes into creating a successful artist, not just from the artist perspective, but just like the overall the team, how everything needs to function, like all the different things that need to get done to successfully push a record or create like a song, a movement, yeah, like a successful campaign. Just I think just seeing all of the different facets working over the past 4 years have prepared me to be where I'm at now.
Yeah. You talked about like the management side as well. And can you just like kind of talk about how, you met Rod, you met Lux, and it was just kind of like, we're doing this, we're one of the few Black people here, and you guys kind of connected instantly, and you guys started working together on some
Well,
music.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's actually crazy. We all just lived together, and like I didn't even know them. I had known Rod freshman year. We would kick it like occasionally decent amount, but like not like all the time. And then Lux, like I didn't even know, bro. Basically, till he lived with us, we just needed an extra. That's good, bro.
So I know we talked a lot about feeling like there's a disconnect, but I know you made some pretty vital connections during your time at USC.
Well,
So yeah, can you just talk about some of the connections you've made throughout your college career working in the music program?
yeah, definitely. So, hmm, there's like honestly, you meet so many different people in the music program and all different like facets, all different specializations, all different um, branches of it. And like honestly, some of the people you always like you meet them and you know they're gonna be a big deal from the moment you meet them. Then other people really like pleasantly surprise you. It's like, oh wow, like that's crazy. Like to see you went from this to this. And I would say like my first like personal connections of people I worked with. Because of course, like there's always so many people that you just know and they're doing their thing. Like I remember Umi just used to be in the dorms, or like my friend Sean, who I'm in the program with, and like Tim and John, all the Oros people are all like doing their own thing. But we've never really worked together. We more just have been just friends who supported each other. But the first person I ever really worked with, um, would be like probably like Rod and Lux, which is crazy because I just lived with them. And then Lux just blew up in the middle of like not even the middle, like the beginning of first semester. Like he just started his song just started going absolutely crazy, and like we all just Rod was studying like management as far as like sports management, and then I was studying music industry, and I was actually like taking this PR class, and I was doing Lex's like fake PR like for the class. Oh, if your artist like, what would you do if your artist blew up? And I was like, well, this seems like very relevant because my artist is blowing up. So then I started doing his PR for real, and Rod started doing his management for real, and then just started going from there. And we all just lived together, and just like things would just keep like going up and up and up. And during that year, I also like collaborated with Graham Mouvet, who's like another student here, who's crazy. Like he's so crazy. His music is crazy. His physical art that he paints and draws is crazy. His digital art is crazy. His video editing skills are like that dude is just all around overall artist. And there's just so many people I feel like with SC, but especially within Black SC that are just like very multi-talented, multi-dimensional type of artists. And like I don't know, sometimes I feel like everyone's on their own different journey, so like that's why we don't like. So it's hard to like collaborate, but in the same time, like I wish there's definitely more collaboration because there's so much talent, and I feel like if people like were able to relate more and connect more, I feel like we could definitely mobilize ourselves in a way that would be much more powerful than what we're doing now because we have too much talent in relation to like the amount of exposure and like collaboration that people are getting. Oh my god, this plane is annoying.
So I, from your work with Lux and Rod, I felt like a big part of a lot of Black children's experience was your guys's, functions, where you guys promoted the music. And it was just really like a huge cultural event. Like, what was it like basically being the man in charge of that? Like, you're bridging the gap
Oh my.
between Black culture and really at a white institution. Like,
I gotta give shouts out to all the people who threw functions before me, all like Donovan. Oh, dang. dang, I'm forgetting bro's name right now. The other dudes who are throwing like the Bud Long, Liddell, Diamond Liddell, and all the dudes who threw the Bud Long parties, and then of course like Jason and Ignitus, and then Christian was doing the little rooftop events too. Those were hard, and all the people who threw house shows. And then as far as what we were doing, it's just like, man, like I had always been DJing and like throwing events, and then Rod was like really heavy into like throwing events in LA. Lux had thrown some events of his own that I had been to like during the summer, and I think we all just saw like kind of like a need that needs to be filled because like people were throwing like once kind of the seniors and like the old heads had graduated, campus was real dry. Like sophomore year, campus was
Was
cracking down on house parties and campus was getting real dry. And we're just like, man, no one else really like is gonna do this because there's so many people who are always like, oh, like, yeah, I would throw an event, but it's too expensive. I don't have the time, like blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, I feel that. But I was like, you know what? I do have the time. I am willing to take the financial risk. Like people, like, I just, I've never done it before. Oh, it's not the same as throwing parties in high school. I said, you know what? I think we willing to figure this out. And what's it called? But, yeah, honestly, it was just like we just wanted people to have fun, and we needed money. So it kind of answered a lot of questions for everybody. It's like, how can we profit from like these skills that we're developing? Because like honestly, like as a creative person, like it's hard to get paid. It's
yeah.
really hard to get paid. Like getting paid to make music. Like there's a reason that rappers talk so much crap. Like because it's hard. Like you're probably not gonna get paid for music. Like statistically speaking, you're probably not gonna get paid.
Yeah. But what set your guys's like events apart? Because I mean the magnitude of Thriller and
Art,
it was just crazy. Like we had like
promotion,
hundreds of people in either a warehouse outside or you know how did that happen?
promotion and collaboration. So
Mm,
like we realized no one on campus was really messing with us and like seeing our vision. So we just took it to people off campus and made it crack. And we just knew the people from off campus. Like I feel like USC people don't support you until you're already supported. Like
yeah,
people will think your thing is cool. People will tell you did a good job, or like they'll say what you looks like what you're doing is cool. But for them to get personally involved, like I feel like you have to have like some kind of clout or traction already. And it's like in some ways that's tough, but in some ways I respect that because I feel like everyone's busy, everyone's doing their own thing. You can't really expect people to care about something that's not doing anything. Because I feel like there's so many clubs on campus, there's so many organizations, there's so many things to be a part of. Like if if it's not something that seems to be moving people or working, like why would you give it your attention? So we felt that, but it's like we just went and did our own thing. Like we hit up promoters outside of SC, whether it be like Ty and Kenny, whether it is bringing in DJs from that don't go here or go to other schools, or like the second Thriller. I think I like got the contact information of the presidents of like BSAs of like 6 different schools, like
mm,
UCLA, CSUN, LMU, Chapman, Cal State, Long Beach, and like texted them all like this is the official like USC homecoming black after party. Like it's all about collaborations and networking. Like even just like we were at home at the homecoming tailgate, airdropping our flyer to literally everyone we could possibly come in contact to. Like we was just walking up to people, just like talking about it. Like we would be on campus talking about it. Like I feel like you have to create your own buzz. Like it's really about shameless self promotion
yeah,
and really like putting what people think about you second to what like what I think my event could be is more important than what people think I am because I'm promoting it so heavily. Like people could be mad, oh, I don't like these prices. Oh, y'all always talking about this. Oh, y'all think y'all like real club promoters. Like, okay, like, yeah, this is all I'm talking about. Like, this is the prices, like whatever. Like,
yeah.
this
Set the standard.
like venues aren't free, like DJs aren't free, speakers ain't free, and it's also just like it's just also like, man, like it's like getting past the noise and knowing like, yo, like we could really put this event on and like I know people would enjoy it despite what they're like, how they feel about. Yeah, it's really just shameless self promotion and collaboration and just tuning out like the noise of people who have like a negative opinion and really just catering to the people who you know will enjoy it. Because for every person that don't want to pay for the price or think that is that parties are dumb or that oh y'all just think y'all, like for every person like that it's someone who genuinely could come out and have a great time with their friends and it's like we just doing it for them, like we doing it for the people who want to come out, who want to go outside, who can imagine like you like we just wanted to have the USC experience that we saw on TV and Instagram, and we got
Right.
here and USC was like, nah, like no more events, and we're like, I'm not sure about that, and especially because it's like it really was like, oh, no more events except for the row. You can have events and continue to do
Mm-hmm.
whatever the hell you want, but brown people, artists, anyone who like, no, y'all house parties, y'all stuff needs to stop. Like, okay, like you don't want to do house parties, we'll just get a venue, like.
Yeah. Do you think you're worried about, what SC is going to be like once you guys graduate? I mean, it's coming up soon and like essentially who are you guys going to pass the torch to, or is anyone going to take over? Like what's
I
going
just
to happen?
I just want it like I feel like I just want someone like decide. There's got to be some young students who like also have a similar vision, like of throwing events and like creating culture. Because of course, there's always BSA, there's always Brothers Breaking Bread, there's always CBCSA, there's always like these different campus emphasized organizations that are going to create events and spaces for Black students. But I definitely feel that it's also important for people to not be associated by USC creating culture because like
Mm,
white students they have the row, and I mean of course the row is technically open to anybody who can pay for it, but it's like even if you go and you even if you like it because you know what I'm saying I've been to some cool events on the row, I have fun, but at the same time like this isn't the music I would choose to listen to.
right.
These aren't the type of dancing, the type of venues I would choose to go to if it was up to me. So I feel like for every generation, there has to be somebody who's gonna just take it into their own hands and provide that experience and like not even functions. Cause like I remember there's a lot of people who throw in some great like house shows, R&B type events. And like I never really got into that bag, but that's also important. And it's like, I hope people continue doing that because house shows, like the amount of them that have been thrown, the amount of them that I've seen, like as my college career has gone on, has gone down and down and down more and more, and the same as like more like functions and like more turned up events. And it's like I hope just some of the young kids, or like I don't even say kids, young students, young adults can just feel inspired to continue expressing themselves culturally like on campus, because I feel like that's important, like for the enjoyment of Black students at SC, and to continue the legacy of Black students. Like if we don't have anything that's catered towards Black students, why would people want to come here? And like
Exactly.
I think USC needs to realize that they need to encourage Black student events as well, because if there's no Black student events, it's going to affect their recruiting.
Exactly. I mean, we have the events of Gear Fest and but it's a
I can't
whole different.
tell you how many texts I've gotten. Yo, we got recruits tonight. Like, can we get 10 track recruits in? Can we get 5 basketball recruits in? Like, even like people who aren't even Black. Like, even I even have some like white
Mhm.
friends who work in recruiting, and they're like, yeah, we got 6 football recruits tonight. We want to show them like what USC is like. Like we want to bring
Which
them.
is not really authentic and it feels kind of more like performative in that sense. It's like, well,
Well,
no,
it's
this
more
is
just
always
like it's necessary. Like it's a necessary part. Like I think USC needs to realize the value that their Black students create. Like even outside of just sports and academics, because like yo, like we have probably like we're 5%, but we're most of the athletes. We get
exactly.
ridiculous. Like all of us have good grades that aren't athletes because you aren't getting. USC is not just letting any regular Black people in here, and we're
Mhm.
creating like if you look in relation to the population, to the amount of culture we create on campus, the amount of events we throw, we're 5% of the campus, but you see the probates on the stairs, the
Mm.
step shows, you see like Gear Fest, you see um all the off-campus events, whether it be house shows, whether it be functions, like we're probably the smallest community on campus of any group,
Yeah, we are.
like ethnic group, and yet we are like definitely very visible and very present, are constantly creating our own culture. And I was like, I don't think USC would be able to sustain its athletic community and
Mm.
keep them happy without the cultural experiences that are created by the general Black community. Like, I don't think USC would be able to have all these popping artists that are coming out of here, whether it's Saweetie, whether it's Umi, whether it's Lux, whether it's Golden, without a strong Black community support them. And I think USC needs to put more emphasis on allowing us to create our own culture. Like, if you're not going to help us, if you're not going to fund BSA and give us the money that we need to do our thing, which is like, honestly, there's an argument of whether even BSA fully represents all the Black students or just certain, but that's a whole different discussion. But it's like, if y'all not going to at least fund us, at least get out of our way and let us do our thing, because y'all wouldn't have no recruiting, because y'all bring these athletes to these functions, the 2 or 3 that we do are able to get off a year, and want to act
Exactly.
like that's the day-to-day experience of athletes. And it's like, y'all want to claim all these artists when they blow up and pop off, and but it's like, when they was trying to throw an R&B house show, you had DPS down there shutting it
Mm.
down. But then now that they platinum, now that they, Umi signed the RCA or whatever, or so and so is doing this, y'all want to claim, oh yeah, this is USC and our arts programs and blah blah blah. But it's like, y'all was never showing the Black culture love, whether it was our events, whether it was the type of our films, like, like everything, like probably some of the biggest, like Ryan Coogler, like Black Panther, all that. Like, I'm sure he had a tough time doing what he wanted to do while he was at SC, but now that he's made it, they're gonna put his face on everything. Like, they're gonna put Ryan Coogler face on everything at school, but they still gonna have a John Wayne exhibit in
Mm.
SCA, even though the Black students asked to get it taken down because he's mad racist.
Mm.
And it's like, I think USC needs to realize the value of the Black cultural expression, whether it be people like me, where we're trying to promote music and we're trying to promote events and promote cultural expression in person, whether it be the people throwing like the R&B house shows and having live instruments and people sing and it's vibes, whether it be Black students getting resources to be able to film and create the films they want to create, whether it be the athletes having a schedule that allows them to participate in all the Black events, because it seems like the athlete community and the
It's
Black student community are
disconnected.
damn near separated,
Yeah.
because and y'all make no effort to allow them to come together, where it's like, I think USC needs to do a better job of appreciating what their Black community does, because we're so small and yet we continue to be the most notable alumni. Not saying that the other communities don't have notable alumni, but like, we graduating notable. We graduating early because we so notable that we don't even need to be here the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, we put someone in the league every year. For the past, every year I've been here, someone has signed from the Black community, has signed to a major label or gone to a professional sports team.
I believe you.
5% of the school. What other, like, who else is doing that? 5% of the institution. Someone going to a major label or going to a professional team every year. Bro, what was it? Michael just got Jay-Z, like, funded his business. Like, Black USC is going crazy, and I don't think our cultural contributions are fully supported. And I think, honestly, that goes back to throwing events. It's like, you can't do everything, but you do what you can. Like, if
Mm.
I can't fix USC overall. I can't make DPS stop harassing Black students as we walk around campus. I can't make USC treat the athletes fairly. I can't make USC fund BSA. But I can give you one night on campus where you feel like, damn, this is actually my culture, and I actually get to dance the music I want to dance to. I get to, you know, drink the drinks I want to drink. I get to express myself how I would usually express myself outside of like the gaze of the rest of campus or how people view. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Just give people what they can, and also give people a platform to promote their music, their DJing, whatever. Like, we could
Yeah.
do that, then I did what I can. I took my knowledge of what I study, what I love, and allowed it to like benefit the community.
So with that being said, like what piece of advice would you want to give a younger you or
Piece
even
of
Black
advice,
Oregon students?
piece of advice, a younger me. I would say just do it. Like, just don't take your time, like being thinking that you should be doing something else. Like, just I would say just try to enjoy the moment more and just do it. And yeah, like and just enjoy the moment and do it honestly because there's a lot of times where like I don't think I fully appreciated like my sophomore year where we were throwing events and Lex was blowing up and like we were on tour like or even my junior year like when Lex did Day in Vegas and we threw Thriller the second Thriller and like I don't think I fully appreciated how ridiculous like those moments were to like see like put 1,000 people in a building like
Yeah.
on some college promo like type of thing like I don't think I fully appreciated the magnitude of what we were doing because it just seemed regular. It's just like, yeah, like we throw events, like we promote artists, like this is kind of like our thing. Like
It's your lifestyle at that
we,
point. That's
yeah,
what you're there to do, you
we
know?
just did it for fun. I definitely think some of the negative aspects of being a student definitely clouded my mind from how crazy those moments were.
Mm.
Yeah,
You think the negative experiences were because you were a black student or were they just
I
being at
think
USC in general
I
was
think being a USC student is tough just because of everything that's happened while we're here and the cultural changes, whether it be the changing of presidents, the constant scandals that are going on,
right?
general mental health of the
No
community.
stability.
Yeah, there hasn't been any really stability as a student. And I think also as the administrations have changed, there has been a lot of inattention to, I would say, black students in particular, but I would say all students in general, where it's kind of in this transitional phase. You kind of feel like you're a forgotten
Mm,
entity.
mm,
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we're making USC better. Oh, in a few years we're gonna have these programs. What does that have to do with me, who is here right now,
right.
et cetera, et cetera? But I mean, I think honestly, but yeah, it was just it was it was an interesting time. But I definitely think I could have. I wish I said something like said a few more things about things that I didn't like, and then I also think I wish I appreciated the things I did like more. But and then advice to younger students, man, just do whatever the hell you want to do, man. Don't listen to what these people have to say, because these people, like
Who's
wherever
they though? Who's they?
whoever they is to you, don't listen to them. Just everyone wants to talk and blah blah blah. Like everyone has some idea of what you're supposed to be like, and what you're supposed to do, or people, freshman year they're gonna if you live in New North, everyone's gonna be rushing, and if you don't want to rush, don't rush. On the same hand, if you a white student and everyone's telling you to rush and you don't want to be part of Greek life, don't do it. If you a black student and you want to be part of Greek life but everyone's telling you not to join, man, you might as well go to a couple meetings and see if you like it. Like, you know what I'm saying? The people are saying, oh, your music, whatever, it's never gonna work. Who cares, bro? It might not work to them. What do they know? Well, man, I don't know how many people have even like come from out of state and complained about the music at parties. All LA music sounds the same. I said, imagine if someone had told YG that he would be broke as hell. But it's like everyone has an opinion. Everyone has some way they think the world should work. How you should move through the world. How you should operate. Oh, you need to be part of my organization if you're really, if you're a real artist, you're joining my songwriting organization. Like, oh, if you really, were a black man, you would join Brothers Breaking Bread, which honestly, if you're a black man, you should join Brothers Breaking Bread. Come out, meetings every Thursday. Shameless self plug, shout to my org. But it's like honestly, everyone had an idea about what you should do, who you should partner with, who you should join with, what it means to be a musician on campus. Oh, why don't you play any house shows? Oh, your music's too ratchet. Oh, your music's too this. I don't know if anyone would get that. That's too foreign. Like, whatever, bro. Just do it. Somebody out there likes it. Like, we're in Los Angeles. Every type of person exists in Los Angeles. Like, whatever type of person you are, there's more people like you here who will catch your wave. Like, even if they're not on campus, like, just keep exploring, just keep reaching out and doing really just make your like world a reality, bro. Like all the tools are here. Even if what you want to do doesn't exist yet, all the tools to create it are right here. I say you should go for it. That's my advice to the young students.
Yeah. So what's next for you? I mean, you're graduating this year. Um, I know you have a lot of releases you're working on, but what can we expect from you?
Man, just a lot of music, just more music. Other than that, I don't know if I really have like a very elaborate. I don't really have an elaborate, well thought out plan because I had one and then COVID happened, and I say my main takeaway from COVID is just that you can't really plan anything. Planning is low key. I don't know if it's a waste of time, but I would say like very intricate plans that are so detailed and you have expectations. Like all you could really do is prepare. You
Mm,
could just keep getting better. It's like, okay, I think you could have a goal and you could prepare, but you can't really plan. Like I know my goal is to eventually be able to sustain myself financially from music. And I can just prepare every day, whether it be writing songs, whether it be producing, whether it be, creating content, whether it be throwing events, whether it be taking a piano lesson, a vocal lesson, whether it be collaborating with other artists, all that. But what was I gonna say? But I don't think you could really plan. Like I can't say, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and I'm guaranteed to have like, especially certain industries. I think if I was becoming a lawyer, I could have a much better plan. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to law school, and then I'm gonna work at these jobs during the summer, and then when I graduate law school, I'm gonna have these interview from these firms, and then I'll move to that city and work there for a few years. But it's like art. If you're an artist, if you're in the creative field, or if you're an entrepreneur in general, you don't really have that. All you could do is have a goal and prepare. And wherever life takes you to meet that goal, you just gotta go. You gotta go where the wind blows you.
yeah.